What is going on, All Terrain Nation? So, Kelly, producer Kelly, this was not me. This was producer Kelly. So, if you're jumping back in, she accidentally pushed the wrong button, ended the stream. So, I'm gonna have to find Justin, give him a new link to this, and we'll get back going there. And I apologize. So, if you're joining in, going, hey, where did they go? Yeah. So I thought Kelly said she added herself to the stream, and somehow she removed herself from the stream. So let me bear with me. If anybody's in here, we will take care of that and solve this issue. Oh man. Yeah, we back. Sorry, that was not me. That was producer Kelly. She's not gonna live that one down now, I promise you. So it'll take Justin a minute because he went to the restroom, and so I had to start a whole new stream. But I sent him a link. So oh, Kelly is not gonna live that one down. Oh man, good times. I love it. But yes, we're back. Oh man, so much fun. So much fun. We'll kind of see what everybody's doing, if they come back or not. Oh, yeah, I guess it'll just abrupt. I don't know where we ended. Me and Justin were just talking, and Kelly's rushing up here to tell me that she goes, I ended the stream. And I was like, oh, okay, you got out of the stream. And she's like, no, she accidentally ended the stream. But there's Justin. So Justin's stream actually ended. You're
Are we back in the same YouTube place that we were though?
No, this is a new stream. It's a new YouTube stream.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, we still got people back in here.
Yeah, they'll follow back in if they were curious about it. But I don't know. I don't even know where we left off. So if you guys want to tell us in our stories of because we were just talking, I couldn't tell you at all where we left off. But that's a new one.
It was Yuhari Pictures of 2008. Kelly popped up, I'm not here, and I went like, oh look, it's a squirrel. Who's that third person? And then blip, it said your stream has ended. So we're basically caught up.
Okay.
Hey, you want to change the subject for a minute?
Of course we can.
Can I put in a shameless plug?
You can do whatever you want, man.
So you were kind enough to send me a few items for I'm a very minor bit.
I wanted to talk to you about this. Yes.
I'm a very minor bit player on a Ultra 4 team. Ultra 4 is the series that runs King of the Hammers, and so we are a extremely low budget redneck Ultra 4 racing team, and we've been at it about 3 years, and we're starting to get better and better. Like we just had our first podium in the last race, got second.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
Big deal.
But we have to try and raise a little money here and there, and so we're having a King of the Hammers kickoff party. I hit you up, and you guys were kind enough to send us a few things. But anybody in the North Carolina, South Carolina, East Tennessee area, this Saturday in Denver, North Carolina, we're having a kickoff party, and
the Mile High city of Denver, Carolina.
Yes, Denver. Not quite that Denver, but yeah. Anyway, so we'll have the race car out there. It's pretty cool. It's a Jeep. Here's the cool thing. So you ever done a poker run?
I've never done that.
So usually a poker run is in a vehicle, but we're doing the equivalent of a poker run at vendor tents. And you go around and you collect a card at each tent. And at the end, whoever makes the best poker hand wins.
Okay.
And the top prize is you get to design the hood on the race car with whatever you want. And so I'm really praying one of my friends in the North Carolina Bronco Club wins it. We're thinking of plastering "I wish I was a Bronco" right across the hood of the Jeep. And then our crew chief actually had an interesting observation. If we do that, Ford has contingency money. If a Ford wins a certain class, you get Ford money called contingency money. So we would have an argument if we had, I wish I was a Bronco on the hood of our Jeep and we win the class, we might be eligible for some contingency money.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
So where exactly in your, I mean, how, as far as what I know of that racing, it's generally kind of out west. I mean, where do they do it in this area, or do you have to travel? What's the deal with that?
Well, it's Ultra 4. So King of the Hammers, there's actually, they have an East Coast and a West Coast circuit. And then there's, I think, 3 races a year that are not considered either, that are considered nationals races.
Okay.
So there's the actual nationals, there's King of the Hammers, and then there's one more that are neither East nor West Coast, but there's about an 8 race circuit. But yeah, I mean, you've seen King of the Hammers, right?
Oh yeah.
Pretty much every other race that, in there is a stripped down version of that. There's some that are more of high speed than, like, there's one up in Wisconsin, a place called Crandon, that's really more of a high speed. It's a wild party. But yeah, it's cool because it's like Baja and rock crawling all in one.
That was we did a little bit of we had a little taste of that out at Vegas when we were testing the Raptors. They'd set up an Ultra 4 area, small area, but it was definitely fun to, like, you do some jumps. We got into some silt, the little bit of rock crawl area, and just just as fast as you can go. And of course the jump was, everybody wanted to do the jump, which we were supposed to get 2 tries at it, and I only got 1 try, unfortunately. So I didn't get to hit it's all about the way you throttle, you don't just floor it and hope for the best. It's throttling through the jump the way they were instructing us, but I had a blast doing that, man. That would, so what is your part of this? What do you do? Just mechanic, or?
Man, honestly, I'm probably the low man on the totem pole. I'm the guy that at the race, if we're missing a part, I have to run out to the parts store, or if I need to go beg somebody for a welder, that's me. But it's fine. I mean, it's my Jeep mechanic. He's the driver. He's a good friend. I do what I can. I've got so many other interests. I'm not at the shop as much as I should be. I'll admit. Yeah. So, but it's fun, man. It's cool to be, throw something together. And the thing with most of the Ultra 4 races, most of them you just try and finish.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Well, that's the fun part of Hammers. Of Hammers is I had a buddy from Florida last year went to in the rookie class. It was cool that they put a rookie class out there to kind of get people, showing. I mean, it costs money, but it's not like you're not throwing $200,000-$300,000 out there per time. And he drove all the way from Florida. They were literally working. I swear to God, they were on the back of the trailer working on the truck as they were trying to get out to Johnson Valley. But yeah, no, had a blast. And unfortunately, he made 1 lap, I think, for the course they did, and ended up his transmission died on him. But he's going back this year.
We've done Hammers twice, and we have yet to finish 2 laps.
Really?
And it's only a 3 lap race.
Yeah,
it's a 3 lap. Here's how messed up it is. I almost said a bad word. It's like a 8 to 10 hour 3 lap race.
Yeah.
And so
because from my understanding, you have the high speed areas, but you got the rock stuff you have to go up the hill, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And there's varying degrees of that, but we actually, this year was sad. We were pretty on point this past year. We actually broke in a high speed area. We hit like a rock under a sand dune and like broke our tie rod going like 90 miles an hour through the desert.
Wow.
Just something you couldn't see. It was like hidden under some tumbleweed or something. I don't know. They didn't see it, and it busted the tie rod.
Well, I have a somewhat local connection I need to hook you up with. He's a desert rat out there. I need to get you with my buddy Danny Hughes to host the show with me.
Oh, nice.
He's built an Xterra that he's doing some best in desert stuff, just the racing parts, but he's always out at Hammers, loves that stuff, lives for it.
I'm sad I'm not going this year.
You're not going?
No, it's a
big
commitment, man. And when you're on a broke race team, it's like everybody pays their own way, and then you have to prioritize. And I'm sitting here, I told you earlier about all the cool free stuff I got coming, but I still have to buy RCV axles to support all that. So, It's hard. I
And
have
what are
to.
those? What are those axles from?
Yeah, they're 2,300. Could have had them. Could have had them for 17 at Bronco Stampede, and I didn't pull the trigger. I don't know why.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So, and I mean, I want you to promote your event as if you're. I know we sent, like you were saying, we sent some stuff, not much,
Mhm.
unfortunately. Like I wish we could do more
No,
for you, but
no, it's more than
anything
enough.
we can to do that. And guys, go over. What is it? This Saturday, you said at
Yeah,
Denver.
and I'm trying to think the best. If you're local, get on Facebook and look up NC Bronco Club, and they've got an event there. But also, though, a lot of the local Bronco people, if you're a crossover Jeeper, you already know this guy. His name's Diesel. Like everybody knows Diesel around here if they're in their Jeepers. So if you're a Jeeper, you know Diesel. But NC Bronco Club is the club. We have a really cool active club. Um, Nick and I love to hang out with these guys. They're just all really cool people, and it's one of those clubs where literally every weekend they'll post and be like, "All right, what's going on this weekend?" Almost there's something to do every weekend. But
Crazy.
they created an event for it, and so you can find it there if you're looking.
Well, so how has been your experience with not, and obviously you work with Nick and them a little bit, but how's been your experience with the events out here so far? The East Coast stuff, Supercell, the Stampede. How do you think those are going for Bronco guys?
Well, I mean, this is like a tale of two worlds. Supercell has always been there. It's growing like wildfire, and I don't know. When I first got my Bronco and I started hanging out with Bronco groups that started out as old school groups, there was some tension. I don't know what the word is. That some of the old school guys weren't too welcoming at first. And that's kind of changed, but I kind of feel like Supercell East really is an old school Bronco event. It's been awesome the last 2 years. I'm not gonna lie, it's been awesome, but I almost feel like the 6th gen one should be its own event.
I feel like there's been some talks of them trying to. I think it would hurt the event for a minute because I go for all of them. I don't go just for 6G. I like seeing the old school
Oh,
Broncos out
I
there,
do
but
too. That's like one
they're
of my
just running
favorite
out of
parts.
room.
It's one of my favorite parts. Yeah. No, the old ones are they're sick. There's some cool stuff going on. But then Bronco Stampede, I mean, we know the deal with that. It's it piggybacked onto Jeep Invasion,
Mhm. Which
and
same guy, Justin Murray, that
yeah,
does
good
that.
dude, good dude. But and he was smart doing them back to back because there were some vendors there that definitely would otherwise not have been there, and it was cool of them to be there and stick it out. It wasn't huge this year. It was
Attendance was 2,500 or so. It's pretty
I know,
low. I
but I
mean,
don't.
they knew.
What were the expectations though?
Yeah. Oh
I
no,
don't know that
I
it was disappointing.
we'll have Justin back on sometime this summer, and maybe I'll get to ask him that. But no, he's doing now. I will say this: they're promoting it like crazy now. So
Oh, it's going to be huge next. It's going to be triple, quadruple what it was, just because I couldn't believe how many people, and I guess it's just maybe I'm on social media too much. Like how many people I saw said, "Oh, I didn't know anything about this event."
mhm.
It was not that hard to miss if you're on socials. I don't know,
Well, I
and
told Justin too that they probably could do it a little better, but I don't know that they probably want to just get their feet wet with, because some Bronco vendors don't overlap. I
we
think,
don't overlap yet.
yeah, I think like companies like Mountains of Metal eventually will probably get into Jeep stuff a little bit, but I know like Diabolical, they overlap just a little bit, but as far as that, and I keep telling Bronco people, you're lucky for the Jeep event. They pull such national vendors. I mean, if you ever wanted to meet some race car, off-roader like you were talking about, I know I'm not big fans of Light Bright, but they're there. Like they pull in the people that you may want to meet. Just because I poo on somebody doesn't mean that you don't aren't excited by them.
Yeah, I was
And
on Brittany's video going something like
well,
on the Light Bright video at that event.
I think I
So
hate to
so
say
here's
it, it's
the
my
thing.
small little channel. They know of it, but I think they know I pooed on them. So I saw them look at me one
So
time.
here's the thing with them. I've known them for several years. They actually helped us get our Bilstein sponsorship
Mhm.
on our race car. They're good friends with our driver. So I've hung out with Britt and Kevin at like at Daytona and stuff like that. So I know them, and uh, I love Brittany. not like piece of, she's cool.
I know there's some backdoor stuff that I've heard that unfortunately doesn't always go well with sponsors.
Not plugged.
No, I'm not worried about that part of the OF part of it. I'm talking about this, how they treat vendors when they're done with them kind of thing.
No, they've always been cool. I mean, I've seen them a few times. They've come around.
I would interview Kevin in a heartbeat. I want no part of Brittany, and it's just my opinion of, I want to talk to people that I want to talk to, and that's the great thing about YouTube is you can do that. I don't have some company going, hey, we need you to talk to this company this week or these people.
Well,
but Kevin, I like Kevin. I love watching him. He's a good off-road driver.
He's great. I think, what's funny is I think that a lot of the shit talking that comes about them is they more or less created a formula that didn't exist before them. As far as
they did the
YouTube
Netflix
channel went from like 0 to 1 million, not 1 million subscribers, but like they're just pulling in, and they do pretty good content. They wheel, they do a lot of wheeling. They started up that shop.
Little clickbait.
Well, of course, but I mean, we're guys, right?
No, I'm not talking about. So the only really thing I have a problem with them, what they do is like with the soft top of the Bronco, they're like, oh, this is sucky. Look, I can stick my hand through the top and all this stuff. And I'm like, you know what? That best top that is your sponsor, I can do the exact same thing. The best top that you guys are putting on there.
How about when they first got the Raptor and they were driving it, like the Raptor is so much better than the Badlands, except our wheels are
the tires
are shaking. Oh, but now we've got Nittos and some new Dirty Life.
That was funny to me. He was like, look at the steering wheel shaking. And I was like, it's not shaking at all.
No, it's not.
Yeah. No, I get that's the game they have to play. So I get that. But and I didn't mean this to go on to debate of Light Bright. They clearly have a following, and for good reasons. Whether you like the thumbnails or you like the actual off-roading, they live in part of the best part of the world to go off-roading, man. Like you cannot say like they're always out doing it and living their life, doing what they want. And I respect that.
Yeah, I was gonna say at the end of the day, man, if I could figure out a way to quit my day job and make a living doing what I'm most passionate about, I would do it in a heartbeat.
I'm not going to comment, but I think it's funny.
What do you say?
Here you go.
That's it.
Yes, they have like some of the best mechanics. 100%. Like, once again, I know the game they're doing, and guess what? They're full time, and I'm not. So maybe I need to show. Maybe I'll get a push-up bra or something, Justin, and some. I threatened to put on some Daisy Dukes.
Hey, I would. Not gonna lie, I'd pay to see that.
All right, so you got to be a member. So hit that subscribe button. And
all right, I'm subscribing. I'm subscribing as soon as I'm getting a paid subscription as soon as we're done tonight. I want to get in that after hours chat or whatever that is that you have.
That you've heard about? Like, yeah. That's a very elite club that gets in that one, man.
Can I join?
So overall though, like you're racing. I mean, you're having blast doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's we only do about 5 races a year, so it's kind of fits and starts. The last couple of weeks are always crazy before the race, and then we may go a month and not, depending, we might not even unload the damn thing off the truck for a month after a race.
Yeah.
So
that's a great thing when it's a hobby sport that you can go, you know what, I'm not feeling it this coming up. Let's wait. Money's just not there.
Something's always broke.
Yeah.
Those races are as brutal can be. And
I don't think people realize that. Because I asked the guys when we were doing the Raptor off rodeo, I was like, how do you guys expect to keep these? I mean, obviously Ford builds a cool product and the Raptor is made to do, but guess what? It's not made to do it every freaking day. I was like, how are you guys? They're like, yeah, they break. We'll just fix it and, put new factory parts back on and keep going. Like, no big deal.
Mm-hmm. No, it is. And it's a lot of it's back to just the Bronco itself. Sometimes I fear that people watch stuff like Ultra 4 and then they get on the trail and they think the answer to everything is skinny pedal. That's when That's when stuff starts breaking.
You know how many I've probably been almost run over a dozen times guiding newer people up trails. You're like, hey, you got to get in a little bit, but you explain, hey, just in it, out of it. Like, you don't have to, and they just floor it, and you're just like diving out of the way to hopefully not get killed. Justin, I have a question. Did you know we bought a Ford Mustang?
I did. I like it.
Have you seen did you see the hail dent that we have in it?
Dent singular or dents plural?
Dent singular. So when we bought this thing, our viewers might know, we bought it from Brighton Ford in Michigan. Allie was our salesperson and did fine. No complaints. Dealership treated us great. Allie's awesome as always. But I happened to notice there was a hail dent in it, and they'd had a lot of storms come through before the car was delivered. Clearly, a little dent in it. No big deal. Allie and them were like, hey, just take it to your local dealership. We'll get it paid for, take care of it, no problem. So I did a WTF on this, a live stream. I was mad. A local dealership.
Is this the same local dealership you took your delivery of your Bronco from?
Well, we're getting there. But a different local dealership that I was like, because I didn't want, after dealing with the Bronco, I didn't want to deal with this other dealership. And so I tried to do business elsewhere. And when they called me, when I received the car back fixed, that's when they're like, hey, we're ready for you. I was like, 3 months later, I chewed them out and then hung up on them. I was like mad.
What?
So
3 months?
No, 3 months. This other dealership, I took it. There was a small warranty issue, something in the dash they had to replace or supposedly replace. Long story short, they're like, yeah, the part finally came in. I was like, 3 months later, you couldn't have given me any updates. So we took it to Murfreesboro Ford, who I bought the Bronco from, who I really probably would never buy another vehicle from, but their service department's been amazing. Treated me great. So we dropped the car off there to get the dent replaced, and they called Allie's dealership in Michigan and just to verify everything. And they're like, yeah, we'll take care of that problem. No problems. Send it into their body shop. And well, that's when the fun starts, because I'm going to share a screen. And I told Allie I was going to go down this path, but I've never seen paintless dent removal where suddenly there's paint missing. And the service manager was like, yeah, they got that dent out, but he goes, we're going to have to paint the car. And I was like, what do you mean we're going to have to paint the car? And he sent me this picture, and it's kind of hard to see. It's a little blurry, but
how much of the car?
So this is the back passenger fender.
All right.
And it's rapid red. So rapid red is a tint coat. So it's hard to blend. Like you have to paint a large area, I guess, to make it blend right. And I was like, when did paintless dent removal become, now you've got to paint my car?
Well, it does say paintless in the name.
Yeah. I mean, it seemed obvious, but what do I know? I don't do this for a living. So he's like, do you think Allie's dealership will pay for this amount? For one, I was like, that's between you, call them. Don't call, like, I'm the guy in the middle. Like, I don't control the wallet. The dealership, they said they'd pay for it. You deal with them. So he's like, okay, I'll call him. Never called Allie's dealership. I was like, and then they're like, hey, your car's ready. And I was like, cool. We get it. And I don't think I have a picture of this part right here, but it comes back to me, and this is under the window. There's a big chip out of the paint there when it came back.
Well, they found a matching magic marker, apparently.
No, this is new. This is the dent's down here somewhere. This is a new chip in the paint. There's a scratch down the side of the car, and this is how the car was returned to me after they fixed it. I was like, dude, you talk about mad. I was very livid, because Ford has this nice service now where they'll pick your car up and they'll drop it off to your house.
Right.
Like, so you don't, with people working at home, it's just difficult. It's a very nice service, and I commend Ford for doing the service. But I called there's some young kids that dropped the vehicle off, and I said, time out, let's call your dealership. And they're like, these kids are going over this car. I call them kids. They're early 20s. And they're like, yeah, man, I didn't see this when we left the dealership. And I called my service manager, and he's like, I didn't get to see the car before it left. And I was like, time out, dude. That's not my problem. My car being returned to me in worse condition than when I gave it to you is the problem. And like he's, the dude, he didn't know what to say. And I was like, I probably used some choice words, kids, that I shouldn't have used. But, you get a brand new $57,000 sports car, you don't expect it to come back worse. And what I don't have a picture of is when they fixed this part of it, you could still see where they looked like they just sanded the circle area out and they painted it red, throw a little clear over it, and you could see an indention, not the
What?
hail dent, but you could see just around the indention where they didn't fill it in right.
Good Lord.
And you talk about, this is right before.
Did they do the body work at the Ford dealership?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
They have a
Maybe that's why body shops exist. I think they're probably better at what their job is than a dealership.
Yes.
I mean, that's ridiculous, man.
I love this comment of
Pointless dent. Yeah.
But yeah, you talk about mad. Like, and this is not, and 100% this is not Brighton Ford's problem. They received the car from Ford with a hail dent in it. It happens from time to time. Cars come in damaged. If they would have fixed it at their dealership had it just been me and Kelly flew up to get the car. It didn't get caught till basically we took delivery of the vehicle. It got noticed, and that's when Brighton Ford stepped up and said, "We'll take care of this, no problem." Allie and them over there have been amazing to deal with. But my local dealership, dude, I don't know how yours are, but it's like, Jesus, man, and what's bad was, and I don't throw this out like, hey, I know people in the industry, but I'm like, I'm the last guy you want. Like the YouTube channel name's on the side of the car. They can go and see I do a lot of Ford events. Like, put two and two together.
I honestly, so I haven't heard. I mean, maybe I just, when it comes to warranty, it's more like not who does the best work, but I haven't heard any chat about body stuff like that. But
yeah,
in our area, it's more like which dealerships will let you get away with murder and still warranty something.
Yeah.
I don't know how my body control module got flooded out. It's never been wet, Okay, right. We'll warranty it, So,
well, and I've talked to these guys, and there's some things they're like, yeah, if it's, if you have an issue at we have 36,000 mile warranty. It's like if it was at 38, 39, we're probably going to go ahead and try to warranty it. Like the service manager, like in the end, and I'm beating him up right now, but there is a happy ending to this story. But the service, like I let him have it, man, because I was just like, because I told him we'd just gotten our Bronco back and they didn't completely fix the Bronco. And I said, on the phone, I was like, you guys are 2 for 2 with me, man. Like I said, between your sales department trying to sell my Bronco out from under me for 25 extra K, I was like, I get a car fixed here that comes back worse than, and I couldn't believe like finding like chips out of the paint. That's a chip, man. And he goes, well, we had to pull this window out to fix the dent. I was like, I don't need the explanation of what you did. Just don't return somebody's vehicle.
You have a gorilla pull it out.
Yeah, right. But and then to see like the scratch on, and that's a pretty severe scratch down the side of it. And it's like somebody's jeans or something, just when they were doing something, just beat the piss out of the car. So the guy, I said, look, man, it's the holidays. I need 2 cars around the house. I said, I'm going to bring this vehicle up. And then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I'm mad now. If I'm face to face mad with this guy, I'm probably going to get arrested because I don't want dumb explanations. I don't want the Gen X or whatever Gen Z BS. I just want the car fixed, man. I don't need to know how it happened, why it happened. Just repair it.
Well, so the fact that they would let, they're doing body work and they let it out of the shop looking like that.
Well, and that's part of the happy ending to this was, so I called the guys like, look, man, I just need y'all to pick the car back up. I said, I don't have time to bring it up there, nor the desire to want to fight with you. So they come up that day, picked it up, and 4 days later, they brought the car back. And I will say, and I commend the dealership for doing this. The service manager who took the car in brought the car back to me he came to my doorstep and was a very nice gentleman about it. He goes, hey, we effed up. And he goes, that's why there's not the delivery people bring the car. He goes, I wanted to personally bring it to you, to say, hey, we're sorry. and it came back and couldn't tell there was a dent at all now. Couldn't tell there's any
Oh,
scratches
for
or
real?
anything.
So it's
Yeah,
perfect?
100% made it up to us. And but I just want you guys to know, anybody in the audience watching this, you do not have to accept poor work, poor craftsmanship when you send a vehicle to one of these companies to have fixed. Remember, they're there to work for you. You're not there to just bring them stuff.
Mhm.
And don't be a Karen about it, obviously, and just look for any little imperfection in the paint, because this is a factory painted car. So you can go through and look at all the orange peel you want, and just it never is going to look amazing.
I don't know, man. If you went to a dealership and went total Karen on them, I bet you'd get a million views. All you got to do is put Karen in the title.
That's a good point.
You
But
get a
the
you get
dealership
a
did
million
come
views.
through. I wanted to get this out there. The dealership did come through. I thought, once again, I thought it was 100% awesome that the service manager came to my doorstep to drop that car off. Knew they effed up, and he goes, and I talked to him for about an hour. He was at my house for a long time, and he goes, "Look, man." I don't know why they didn't even wash this car when they brought it back to you. He goes, "It should not have been returned in that condition." He goes, "Yeah, I apologize. I didn't get to see the car before it left the dealership." And was very nice about it. So Ford of
That's cool.
Murfreesboro, their service department is in good standings with me, and
And so, but
made it right.
you love this Mustang, though. I've seen a few of the videos. It's pretty badass, huh?
Dude, I think we were talking a little bit about V8s, and I don't know if it was before the show or during the show, but this car, like starting this car, will bring so much excitement to you. It's fun to hear a V8 start up.
And you feel
The
the
Mustang
rumble in the
exhaust.
seat.
Do what?
You feel the rumble in the seat when it starts up. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I do the remote thing from in the house with the active exhaust on, and you hear it through the house, and you're just like, oh, so there's. I love the Bronco V6. There's just something about hearing a big V8 start that just makes
Yeah.
you excited and happy. We were averaging from Michigan, we averaged about 24 miles per gallon coming back in this car. And since then, because I haven't messed with the setting one of the odometer. I wanted to leave it however many miles we put on it. And I'm averaging about 12 miles a gallon now, because you can't have a big V8 car like this and try to be sensible about it,
Nah.
Every red light, I want to race somebody. It's
Shit.
amazing.
Any speeding tickets yet?
No, no. Hopefully, I'm knocking on wood
Kelly,
right
has there been any speeding tickets yet?
No, I'm very lucky though. But no, it's like but it's I will say the pony cars, even the Supras and the Z's and stuff, there's so much fun that you can have without going stupid. You don't have to do 100-mile-an-hour
Yeah.
down Main Street to have fun in these cars anymore. They sound so good that when you're doing 45 mile an hour in this car, you
Yeah.
feel like you're doing 90 mile an hour. It's so much fun, and I cannot recommend
Yeah.
recommend this car enough.
One of my neighbors just bought a brand new C8 Vet, and we actually went to it was over the summer because school wasn't in session. He came and picked me up, and we went to a school parking lot and tried to do as much burnouts as we could. But man, that car's planted. It's actually almost hard to even like go do burnouts in it.
Well, the one thing we've noticed with this is, I mean, it's a GT with the performance pack and stuff, so it came with these summer tires. The one thing I will notice, when the temperature dip below 80 and the roads start getting cool at night,
Oh yeah,
forget traction.
yeah.
Like,
Now you're going.
yeah, now if you want to burn out, like I
For
will come.
sure.
Dude, I
Yeah.
I went to pick up some sushi the other night, and I just was sideways. If there was pedestrians, like if it was a Cars and Coffee, people would have been dead, because the Mustang hasn't got its first taste of blood yet. So there's the bloodlust of it. It wants to eat some pedestrians, but I had it sideways coming out of there, and it was just eating, man. It just was so much fun.
See. So what motor is the Ranger Raptor? Is that the 3.0?
Yes, same one as the Bronco, except it's detuned slightly.
It's probably
So
a lot
what?
less. It's probably lighter too, right? Though the
Yeah.
vehicle. Yeah.
That's a good question. I think I have a picture of the door seal somewhere. That's a great question. I'd be curious how much lighter it is. You would think it would be lighter than the Bronco, Remner?
I would think so.
But
It'll
what
bet you it's
Bronco is
1,000
what
pounds lighter.
418 something like that, and I think the Ranger is 406 something like that. Dude,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
the one I'm really pumped about. I
power to
I knew
weight's
we would
probably gonna
love.
be better on it.
Well, I knew the Mustang we would just love. It's a fun car, and it's turned into my car. Kelly rarely drives this car. I think because she doesn't want a ticket in it, knowing it's a bright red car. It's going to attract attention, so you're going to cause the wrong
Mhm.
attention at some point. But no, the Ranger Raptor, I'm so pumped. I can't wait.
Are you gonna
Unfortunately,
be
all
able to
the
have that and the Mustang at the same time?
no,
No.
no.
Yeah, that's
I don't make that kind of money, Justin.
you're gonna
If
cry you're
people,
gonna
if
cry
you hit
well, I'm the same
subscribe
way.
and you
Yeah.
hit like on these videos, maybe at some point I can bring you that kind of content, but not right now.
Yeah. No, I'm
Um,
in the same boat.
but no, it's I mean, would you drive the new Ranger Raptor?
Oh, hell yeah. Well, it's really interesting, the whole mid-size truck thing right now. Because when I sit down and think about it, it's like I don't even know if I can make a super informed opinion because there's only really one of them out there. The Chevy's out there, but
Yeah,
Toyota
Nissan.
not out yet. The Ranger's not out yet.
Yeah, so
So
you got the
it's all
GM
speculation.
twins. You got GM twins. You could call the Gladiator a
Mm,
mid-sized truck. It's a weird, it's a Swiss Army knife of a truck. Nissan, I think the Nissan's probably the best value out of all of them right now.
yeah.
But
They're stopping making the big one though, not the
the
Frontier,
Titan, yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Titan's dead by summer.
Okay.
But no, the Ranger Raptor I'm super pumped about. Unfortunately, I know a lot of people with just trucks in general like that though, they're not enthusiast vehicles, so it's a weird like
Well, the
people are.
Toyota is.
Yes. So what
Now,
what is
my
your
whole take
opinion of
on
that?
like
Where does that new Toyota stand for you?
so that's the whole thing. If I look at all three of it, I'm sorry I'm taking the Nissan out of the mix, but
Yeah,
I
you're
would
good.
just I would boil it down to those three. It's like the Chevy's just beautiful, and I'm not breaking out the GM. We'll just call them one and the same. The Chevy's beautiful. Um, the Ford, but on the Chevy, I don't know that much about. Like the thing I know about the Toyota is two things. One is it's freaking Toyota. It's probably going to be great, but the thing I don't know is that 2.4 hybrid. Like, is that? But because with the Ford, at least the EcoBoost, they've been out forever, right? Like I feel like at this point the EcoBoosts, like you can be pretty confident you're getting a decent motor. What
Yeah.
do we know about the one in the Toyota? I don't know. I haven't done my homework.
Well, the 3.5 with the same setup has been pretty dependable. I think they've had more issues with just little plastic pieces in the truck. I think there was early on, there's a wastegate issue they had.
On the Toyota?
Mhm. But on the big truck.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's similar,
On the
just a
2.4 is
smaller
similar
engine. Yeah.
design. Okay.
So they use a 3.5 V6 in that truck, but it's the same setup. It's the hybrid of it is it's a torque drive where it's in between the flywheel the flywheel and the transmission. So it gives you that instant torque, and
Mm-hmm.
as much torque as really as you want.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about fuel economy, and it's going to be the same in this new 2.4. The 2.4, they've ran that engine for a long time. It's not like new to the Toyota brand.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem that I'm curious about is, the Tacomas, people run those for 300,000 miles like it's nothing.
Yeah.
How does this new hybrid setup? How does it last?
Well,
Do you get
that's exactly what I'm getting at. It's like it's a Toyota, so you'd be like, oh, this will be the last pickup truck I ever have to buy. But do we really know enough about this motor? Is like I get that it's a Toyota, but
well that
you
and the
know,
price of them?
shit.
The the
Well, that's the whole thing.
off-road.
Like the TRD Pro is going to be 10 grand more than a Ranger Raptor, probably, right?
I think I do expect, so Ranger Raptor, ours is 58, I think is what ours MSRP is at.
Mm-hmm. And they
I
don't
think
have pricing on the TRD yet, do they?
not on the TRD
It's not on the
Pros.
building price yet.
So you can do the TRD off-road, which is, I think I priced one around 55 to 56 and that's a non-hybrid, just that 4-cylinder turbo.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm expecting the TRD Pro of that truck to be probably $72,000.
Yeah.
And
Because like
that
the
for a
TRD
mid-sized truck.
off-road, that's the equivalent of like the Chevy Trail Boss, which I can go walk on a lot and get one for 41 right now at Trail Boss.
Oh, well, the ZR2. So me and my buddy Tim with Pickup Truck Plus SUV on our Saturday show, We did that. You can get a ZR2 Colorado right now for 52 to 54, something like that, with front rear lockers. You know, it's a little off-road beast. Once again, you're getting a 4-cylinder engine. I don't expect there's that much issues with that. But yeah, you start trying to price, or the new Trail Hunter, which I expect is going to be 68. That's a lot of money
Oh
for a
yeah, the
mid-sized
Trail
truck,
Hunter.
man. And then with Toyota, they're not putting front lockers in anything because they're like, our trail controls are so good that you don't need them.
Yeah,
And I don't need a nanny system. I want to do what we talked about earlier. I want to put the lockers on when I want them on. I don't
yeah,
want the computer trying to figure out how to get me up the hill.
yeah, yeah. I tell people don't use your front lockers unless I tell you
No,
to.
pretty much, man. Yeah.
But, yeah, that's interesting. No front lockers. I did not know that.
Yeah, no, that's their thing is they're like, no, we don't need them. And you're like, well, that's cheers to you. I mean, that's a ballsy statement, but I think especially because Overland Guy loves Toyota.
Yeah,
So, and that's something I hope Ford does with the Ranger. I hope they really start pushing, not with the Raptor. Obviously, the Raptor is a whole different animal, but I hope that
that's
they
the thing.
figure out that take the new trimmer, because they'll have a trimmer model for Ranger. Make that a overlandy style truck for their brand.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not looking at the Ford. If I'm weighing the three, I'm not looking at the Ford unless it's the Raptor.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
I'll,
Why is that? Out of all the midsize, why not?
I'm assuming it's going to be similar to the Bronco with a lot of cheap plastic interior parts and blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. And I don't know. I kind of feel like if I'm going downstream model, I'm probably just going to go Toyota and take the thing that makes the most sense for the long run. I don't know.
Yeah, if you want a truck for 10 years, I mean,
Yeah.
there's no, it's a no-brainer, especially the current generation, though it's kind of underpowered, obsolete tech in that truck. It's a no-brainer, man. Let's see, honest, Dave, on the Range Raptor, did you order the graphics package? Me, hell no. I did, honest, and I did it because this will be a long-term review vehicle, but at some point it'll have to go away. And I assume it's a better resale value with that package, with some stickers on it. Probably not, but that was just my philosophy of like, people might want the gaudiness that is the digital camo on the side of that. Did
Hey,
you see, Justin? Did you see that we covered it, but did you see where Ford is with the Bronco Raptor? They're doing that code orange package.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
And that and the body color fender flares new for this year is going to make a lot of people happy.
yep. And I think the people that like me who bitched about, hey, we need body matching colors. I think there'll be certain colors you're going to be like, whoa, that's too much of that. I think black vehicles will be great.
Mm-hmm.
And black vehicle in that vehicle, anyways, it was a glossy sort of plastic on the side, anyways. But
Yeah.
no, I think the shelter green on that vehicle is going to look amazing with those painted fenders. It's going to look really cool.
You haven't seen a shelter green in person, have you?
Maybe,
On anything?
yeah.
Have you? How is
Yeah,
it? You like it?
that's what I ordered.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, for my Ranger Raptor, that's the color I ordered.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
We
Nice.
have two orders on that. We have that, and we have one in the Azure Gray. And I did it. I got some photos of the shelter green, which I'm telling you, I'm not because the color you have. What's the color you have on your Bronco?
Eruption green.
I'm not a fan of that color. I don't dislike it. Think it's ugly, but it just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
But the shelter green, I like that color a lot, man.
It's more like, so the eruption green has kind of a gold undertone. I think the shelter green is more like pine, right? Ish.
Yeah, the little bronzish tint to it. It seems
More
like.
bronze than gold.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not as a bright color.
I mean, I liked it. Honestly, the one I have now, the one I told you I had 4, the one I ordered was my 3rd one. The 4th one I bought off the lot, and I probably would not have bought. If I was to order again, I would not have bought eruption green. It just happened to be a good deal I found. And back in the flipping days, I had a 2-door base that I traded in, right? 2-door base Sasquatch. They gave me 60 for it on trade-in.
I'm seeing so many people in these Facebook groups right now wanting to get rid of their Broncos. Well, they're only offering me like 40 for it. You're like,
Yeah. Now it's back to normal.
Yeah, that's kind of what it should have been. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I paid 54 for Kelly's Bronco, and it probably, I mean, we're fairly low miles at 20. I think we have 24,000 on it right now, maybe. And I probably couldn't get 45 for it. Like, and I'm like,
Yeah,
if I got 45, that would probably be a pretty good deal
yeah.
considering.
Well, and you're right. That's where, if you trade it in now, you are so much more money ahead throwing what we affectionately call a back to stock party. Get your buddies over, buying some beer, throw some wrenches at them, and be like, "Here's the plan."
Yeah. The
See
worst
that
thing
big
for the
pile of
people is
parts in the corner? That's all going back on.
yeah, the worst thing is those people that sell all those parts because they don't think in a year or so I'm going to want to get
Sure, we're
rid of
gonna
this
need them
vehicle.
again. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to sell the stock wheels, and I've seen so. I like the factory wheels. I know you have some different wheels, but
Hmm. Oh,
especially
I
for
like the
wheeling,
factory ones. Yeah.
for just getting them beat up in rock gardens and stuff. I'm like, I don't, I don't care. Like if I did shows like you do with Mountains of Metal, I probably would
Yeah.
put something fun on there just for the shows. But our beauty rings are all beat up now.
Yeah. No,
If I were to curb them, I don't worry about it.
honestly, two reasons I went aftermarket on the wheels. I actually, on my two door, I had 37s with the stock Sasquatch wheels,
Mhm.
but I had to put 1.25 inch wheel spacers on them
I'm running.
because of the
I am running
offset.
a wheel spacer now.
Yeah, and it's
I'm
not. I
inch
mean,
and a half.
if you get a hub centric one, it's not a big deal. It's really
Yeah,
not.
that's what we did. And the reason I did it because I just wanted a little more protruding for like when that mud pit that we went through. It just kept my fenders and it just kept me away from some of the obstacle. So that's kind of why I wanted that, and just give
Yeah.
it a little more wider look too. But no, I used to be very against wheel spacers till like you start learning about getting the hub centric.
Dude,
Um,
I ran them for 3 years on my Jeep, and I beat the piss out of that thing, and I never had a. I mean, when you put them on, freaking Loctite them.
yeah.
Check torque when you rotate your tires. Check torque on the wheel spacers while you got the tire off or the wheel off. It's not
No,
that big
I'm
of.
not
You
rotating
buy
tires
decent
myself
ones.
anymore.
Say what?
I'm not rotating tires by myself anymore.
Oh man, if you have 5 tires, it's so easy. If
I
you
didn't
have
say it was
four, it's not.
difficult.
But if
I'm
you have
just
five,
saying
it's so easy.
I'm
Huh?
old, and
Nah,
I'm older, and I'm like, you know what? It's part of the tires I buy from discount. They're like, hey, we'll do that for you. I'm like, sweet.
man,
Call me
you
when it's
ain't
done.
lived until you've tried to lug a 37 back up on that rear tire carrier all by yourself.
No, the 35 is heavy enough. I can't imagine, man. So you have a brace on your tailgate now, right?
Oh man, I have all kinds of goodies on my tailgate from
But you
going
have
to
the
school at
for
Mountain
the
South.
heavier tire, you have the brace
Yeah,
on there.
yeah. I have a
What's your
brace.
opinion? Do you feel it's a needed deal?
Yeah, in fact, I mean, Ford designed that tailgate. It's aluminum, number one. But they designed it it is engineered for the max weight to be the Sasquatch wheels and tires. So I would even tell somebody, even if you even if you kept your wheels and bought, say, some KM3s or some Nittos, I would still do it because those tires are so light. Those 35s are so light.
Yeah, they're C rated.
And
It's
so
meant to be like
that ass end is not technically rated to carry more than that. And so if you don't want to be fighting about your warranty later, just spend $200 and put one on. It's not a big deal.
yeah. I've been looking at the I like the Raptor deal they've done for their
Hmm.
the way it looks,
Yeah.
because I kind of like stuff to look kind of factory, and
Yeah. Straight
I
from
know make
Desai. There's like 5 people carrying it now, straight out of Desai in China, bro.
yo I've seen it, but it's like I'll be honest, it's a little intimidating pulling the tailgate off there to do it the way theirs mounts. I'm
Oh,
like,
because the hinges too.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so that's what's kind of because I've seen the IAG version. I'm like, it doesn't look too bad.
Hmm.
But no, I'm just
Turn
like,
off
I don't
road
know.
has an interesting one.
Who does?
Turn off road.
Okay.
They're
I don't
they have all their own parts. I'm pretty sure they're a US company, but they have everything made in China because the price is right. Kind of like Havoc. They're based out of the US, but you just know based off their pricing, that shit's being made in China. It has to be. There's
Oh,
no other way to get the price that way.
well, you see some of theirs when we were at the Stampede, I went over to their booth and some of their soft tops. I was just like, ooh, I can see why they're a lot cheaper. You're getting what you pay for.
Yeah, but no, I do like that look too. It does look the Raptor knockoff looks way more factory for sure.
Yeah, I thought about hitting Nick up and trying to work with y'all on that one, but I'm just like, I don't know. I just wanted to, for me personally, I just want to look like it was supposed to be there, and not that Nick's doesn't. I don't know,
It
something.
looks
I
like
don't.
everybody else's more or less that came out. It's to me, it was all about when when that one came out. A lot of the parts they do, it's like, okay, what are we doing that A, are we the first to market? And B, if we're not the first to market, what are we doing better than the other? And there's a couple of things. If you look at like our tailgate reinforcement, the gasket material we use and the conical washers we use are pretty much nicer than everyone else's. But at the end of the day, the design is kind of all the same. And
Yeah.
my whole thing with the tailgate, it's all about let's have the coolest shit you can bolt on there. And we've got 4 or 5 things right now you can bolt onto it, but there's some really killer stuff coming out too.
Well, I've seen like the antenna mount and all that stuff. I
Yeah.
think I talked to Nick about that the last time he's on. It looked good. No, I really like what Nick and them do. Like I hate that I'm not interested in the door baskets because I think, for one, I think Nick was the first to do it and everybody else
He
kind of just
was absolutely the first to
Yeah.
do it.
Everybody else copied what he did, but I have no desire. Those are things I don't. I love the Sasquatch basket that he does up there. I think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Alan, every time I turn around, Alan's got some new part hanging off my vehicle. It takes. I was like, at Supercell, I was like, where did my basket go? And it was like, oh, I put it in the tailgate. I was putting my part up there. I was like, okay, thanks.
No, it's cool. That's one of those, like, I also get a lot of people ask me directly, or even if, like, like you said, I'm somewhat active on the forums, even though social media in general disgusts me these days, but I try and be helpful. Again, I remember I haven't been in the game that long, and I remember what it was, how happy I was to be around people that could give me good and proper advice. So I try. And so when it comes to the Bronco, like, oh, what should I do? And I'm not running out and being like, oh, buy our full cargo, whatever. That's what you need. I'm like, if I was starting out, what I need, like 2 things that really make a lot of sense: the squatch basket, especially if you have aux switches, the squatch basket. And we have again, we weren't the first ones with a dash device mount, but we're the only ones that figured out how to do it without drilling or double-sided tape. You have to drill into your dash. So, and they're both under $100 items.
No, I trust me. I have a 67 designs that cost me $400 some dollars. That,
yeah,
like, I mean, it's great, but at the end of the day, I was like,
I had one. I had one. I loved it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I was like, it just wasn't. It's too expensive. Yeah, now you got 2 holes in there, and I told Kelly, I was like, well, I'll never remove it, so I guess it doesn't really bother me. But, and I don't know when I ever need like that many attachments on my dash. I need that full.
Remember way back in the early day that AR, the archetype racing guy, and he made the first one he came out, ran literally the whole freaking length of your dash.
Well, they still sell that.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, man, I could
With
mount like
what's the gun rail or whatever they use?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm like, and then, well, even 67 Designs came up with their mid one where it's just the way it should have been from the. You're
That's
like, why didn't you just come up with this? Why did I need this full window mount there? But no, I like it. I use it. That's one. I will say that's one of the phone mounts is one of the things I use all the time. The basket, the Sasquatch basket that you guys have, I used that quite a bit.
Well, how about the med cabinet? Now, talk about innovative things. Like, there's a few things we've done that like literally nobody's done, or like we invented a better mousetrap with the tailgate limiter. We did something nobody even apparently thought of with that med cabinet. Like, that's what I appreciate about Mounds of Metal is, like, if they come up with some really crazy new stuff, but even the stuff where they're like, all right, well, we're not the first tailgate people on the market, but here's how we're going to make ours better than the rest. And I get to sit through some of those meetings, And that's always the thought process is it's only worth doing this if we have a reason to think that we've got an idea how to make it better.
Yeah, no, so we have that med basket. I just haven't used it yet. It's my problem. I just haven't, because we haven't got to go kind of exploring or need extra space right now.
When you open your tailgate, it looks freaking cool.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no, we get a lot of people go, "Hey, what are you doing?" You open up the little drawer and they like it. But then again, like, I like my diabolical slide drawer, but I rarely, unless it's softball season, I rarely have a need to kind of slide that out a lot. The security thing, I will say, I think that's a must, especially if you have a soft top. The diabolical security, the way they do that is really nice.
Yeah.
For me though, like, earlier you were talking, what do you need? A couple of things you think you need. First off, I think tires, grip is king on the trails. So the most grippy tires that you're comfortable with, like I said, skid plates. It's not a sexy buy, but it's a needed. Luckily, we had a Badlands, so we had some protection.
Yeah.
I don't think factory.
Did you
I
guys
think the factory
ever buy like a transmission skid though?
I have a full set of skids coming from Lifestyle.
Oh, nice, nice.
So we went ahead and finished, because his bumper comes with a front one already.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and finished out. The only one I wouldn't buy is the gas skid, and that's because I think the factory gas skid is amazing.
It is.
It's a double
fantastic.
ply.
Yeah.
And it's like, if once I beat that up 10 years down the road, maybe I'll think about upgrading it. But I think normally they're just like a single ply. They're flimsy. But Ford did a damn good job on that one.
No, I agree. I think that one's good. The one that I can't really understand is the T-case skid. It's only mounted to the frame, so literally it hangs out in space. It's
no, that's awful.
It mounts here to the frame, and there's nothing mounting it here.
So you can just push it. Yeah. No, awful.
The hell good is that?
There's a few things with Ford and off-road I don't think they understood completely. They know Raptor, but Raptor is a different animal than the skid needs of Raptor truck is different than what Bronco needed. And I think they did a good job. I said this earlier on, they did a good job of capturing the soul of what Wrangler is, of grabbing the high points and then they just needed to work on. I think plastics are one thing. I think Jeep plastics are much better. I think Jeep knows their audience knows it's going to get scuffed. So don't put this smooth, glossy plastic down the center of it.
I mean, the Bronco reminds me of the plastic in my JK.
Really? I feel like
the JK actually probably was better even. And the JL is definitely better.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, I feel like our JT, the truck we had, the plastics were freaking great. But there's a few things I do expect. I'm happy to see now too that they're doing just a 12-inch screen.
And that's competition that's the best thing out of all of this. And I have not for 1 minute gotten into the whole Jeep versus Bronco thing. I think it's stupid and hilarious.
Yes,
like
completely different models.
It's so cool that Ford forced Jeep to up their game, but then on the flip side, Jeep's like, all right, for 2024, everybody gets a 12-inch screen. What did Ford come out with? For 2024, everybody gets a 12-inch screen.
Oh, 100%. I think the outfitter switches that Ford does is much better than the Ford.
Hey, I want to answer Dave in Canada, because there's a whole separate chat that comes along here on the side. It never follows hardly along with what we're talking about, but Dave in Canada, check out the Mickey Thompson's new all-terrain. Their sidewall looks like a mud terrain. So if you want the most badass looking all-terrain, check out the new Mickey Thompsons.
See, I'm going to disagree. I'm a BF Goodrich snob, man. So I think the new KO3s is probably.
Have you seen the sidewall on the Mickeys though?
I mean, they look badass. Don't get me wrong. I'm always scared of Mickey Thompson for some reason for tires. I think because
they don't balance as easy as some.
Yeah, and it's a 4-wheel parts tire now, if I remember right. Right.
Oh, really?
I think so. I want to say they're kind of owned by Transamerica. I could be wrong on that. I'm sure it's a great tire, like Toyo. Toyo makes a great tire. What's the one everybody wants to run?
Well, we're a Nitto shop.
Nitto.
I take a lot of crap for I bought Maxxis razors for mine because being on a budget, it was like, all right, what's what can I find on sale when I'm ready to buy. I had a short list, right? I had a short list, and that's what can I find the best deal on. But
Mm-hmm.
I would buy Nitto trail graps if I was going to just buy something.
I can't. I think they look up great. I just for some reason cannot. I think because everybody runs them, I just cannot bring myself to want to run that tire.
You know who almost everybody runs them? Ultra 4 cars.
Yeah.
I mean, it's proven. That's kind of the thing is, it works because they're out there running them in the worst of the worst conditions, and they're winning
Well,
most of the races.
my love of BF Goodrich is because the original KO series tire was just so different than at the time. An all-terrain tire was just basically a street tire with a couple lugs in it. And I think when they brought the KO series out, I think it was such a game changer. And it was weird. It took the KO's early 90s. I remember it's in the Jurassic Park YJs. You see those tires kind of made their debut in that first Jurassic Park movie. And it still, people took forever to adapt to a different style of all-terrain, but because BF Goodrich is owned by Michelin, and to me, Michelin probably makes the best street tire you can buy. That's the only reason I think I justify BF Goodrich. I'm sure I forget what Toyo used to have a tire that I wanted to run really badly, and I need to for the channel.
Was it the RT? Because the RT concept's kind of cool. Like Nitto sells a ton of those ridge grapplers. That's the hybrid in between the AT and the MT. And Toyo has the same one. They have a open country RT. It's very similar to a Nitto ridge grappler. Is that what I don't know if that's what you're thinking of.
Maybe. And they do have, what's that one they have? Maybe it's the one you're talking about. They have kind of an overlandy off-road or all-terrain tire that they've started. I think it's Nitto. Or no, yeah, Nitto.
Oh, Nitto now has the Recon grappler.
The Recons. I've been interested in that tire, but they're hard to get.
It's like basically the same as a ridge grappler, but I think the biggest difference is, if I remember correctly, the Recon's like a load range E, which my Maxxis Razors are a load range E. And when I go off road now, I have to air down to 10, where I would normally air down to 15. Flex. I have to run it at 10. And on the street, on the road, I run it 31 front, 28 rear. It's so weird. It's so, because I'm used to running load range C and D. The worst I've ever had before was D. It's like you run 35, you're good. Man, 35 is too much on these load range E's.
Yeah, my buddy Mill Creek Overland here, they have a nice off-road shop. We just did their Christmas toy drive.
Team
Baja Boss ATs.
Oh, I haven't seen it. It's a Cooper tire.
I'll check those out. Up. Let's see. Anna says, Dave, I worked for BF Goodrich before I put 44 and a half years with Ford. Toyo rocks. Man, double-edged sword there, honest.
The way I see it, Toyo and Nitto kind of are the same. When you're talking mud trains, I guess they're generally the ones, there's those two camps. And then I had KM3s on my two-door, and I freaking love those things. They're on the lighter end,
Yeah, I have. That's what we have now on her Bronco is KM3s, and I like it because, for one, I have true 35s, even though BF Goodrich is still 34 or 3 or something or whatever it is. Not even close to a 35, but I like the lug pattern they do. I like their sidewalls, but I told Kelly, I was like, this time next year I'll put KM3s on it or KO3s on it when they're out. I don't use the heavy lug tires enough anymore to justify.
So you're not going to go to 37s?
Well, if we do, it would still be the KO3s. I can't justify a heavy MT tire. I put the MT tire on because I wanted the look for some of the shows we were doing. But past that, they work great. They were great at Windrock, no issues. But I think just daily use, the maybe half a mile per gallon, I might get better. I can
That's
justify
always the
it.
biggest thing.
Yeah, no, and I'm bad about, like you talked about, researching with tires. Before I buy a tire, I go through and check the weight of every tire, because rolling.
Oh, I do too. I do 100%. I check the weight,
because the Goodyears they put on it are C-rated tire that weigh like 36 pounds or something, and then you go into a true.
No, they're 52. The Sasquatch tires, 52.
Yeah. I don't think they were that heavy.
Pretty sure.
But I know you go into a true D-rated tire and you're upper 50s, lower 60, mid 60s for
Mhm.
tire. And that's a big difference.
My tire is like 79 pounds.
Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Yeah, they're
thank you.
heavy.
No thank you. Well,
But
Justin, I think that was the show tonight, buddy. It's been a weird one because of Kelly killing our vibe over there. The
man,
last
we
show.
went 2.5 hours. That's pretty good.
I know. I haven't done a 2 hour show in a while.
Well, I appreciate you having
Um,
me on, man.
honest, where the damn survey. When Kelly killed the show over there, she killed the survey that I had. So, I don't know the answer to that.
Hey, I got a question. Do you see
Go ahead.
Rect 4D Performance? That's my buddy Matt.
Yeah.
He goes by Rect 4D, and he's the guy that can install anything in his garage, and he wheels harder than anybody I know.
Yeah.
But I want to know when he turned into Rect 4D Performance. That's a new one on me. Is he starting his own gig or what?
Uh-oh. I got competition. Hey, the biggest thing with tires, though, end on that. The biggest thing with tires, as long as you're not running retreads, because I used to see this all the time, people wanting to run the retread tires, and I'm like, just don't do that, man. It's for safety of your family riding in your heavy SUV. I'm not a big fan of that. I see enough of them on the highways for semis, which I understand for semis why they do it. But for me, if you start airing down retreads, it's a big no. Um, and that I'm not pro retread. Goodyear Duratrax, Dave asked. I ran Duratrax on 2 vehicles. Great tire. They're soft compound, so they wear fast. And I kept cutting sidewalls in them badly.
Did that come after the KO2? Because that seems like a very KO2-ish tire.
It
You
was
said
around the same
KO2
time.
was
Yeah.
kind of the first to market in that.
Well, the cool thing, like I always said that the Duratrax were like a very weird hybrid of an MT AT. It was somewhere in between, because the inner of that tire is very AT, the inner 2 lugs, and then the outers are very MT. It's a very strange tire.
Yeah.
Killed by a can of Spam. Honestly,
I'm
you're
trying to
talking about
figure out what he
Nicole.
means.
I think he's talking about my can of Spam in the background. That
Happy New
can of
Year,
Spam.
Alex.
This can of Spam was in. This is how old this is. I put this. We used to be stupid in high school, and we'd get drunk as hell, go into a Kroger, a local grocery store, and just go bow down to Spam and just act a stupid fool. So I bought some one time, and I put this can of Spam in my car window, the rear glass window of my car, and it would just forget stupid attention. People are like, why do you have Spam in the back window of your car? I was like, because I'd make up some stupid thing. But this is from 1991, this can of Spam.
No
And
shit.
a buddy of mine used to do the same thing. He had somebody break in his car about 10 years later and ate the Spam that was in his car.
Does it have a best of used by date on it?
Well, yes, it does. Let's see. 1990. Wait, I can't tell.
All right. So you know what you need to do, Dave? You need to start a fundraising campaign for a good charity. And if you raise X amount of dollars, you'll eat that can of Spam live on
No,
air.
I would never eat this can. No, thank you. Look, I don't even have the top on it anymore. I broke the top of the little key thing you pull off. I think it's 91 is what it's best by or something.
That's my graduation year.
Mine was 93. Damn, we're old.
Yeah,
but so it's car related of sorts. I kept this in my car, so I always do it up here.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, it gets a lot of weird attention. People are like, why do you have Spam? But I'm sure it would taste just like new. It's sealed. There's no reason. It did sit in the back of my window, so I'm assuming it got hot, cold. I don't know how
it's like
that
99% salt. Chances are it's just fine.
I'm sure there's somebody in Hawaii who would love to eat this. But I'm not going to touch it.
And a Twinkie from the 60s.
Right. Or a McDonald's hamburger from 1985 that's still in its bag. And
still looks the same as it did in 85. Yeah.
That's right. All right, guys, that is the show tonight. It's been fun. It's been interesting. Thanks, Kelly, for killing the vibe of the last stream that we tried to do. I would not let you live that down for a while. Hopefully we have the full team back next week because Yeah, because the girls don't need to be sick, basically, and help out here. I was hoping to get some good questions from Allie and Kelly, but sadly, Justin, you just had to deal with me.
Well, we managed to fill the time all right, I think.
I think so. I hope your event this Saturday is bring some good money in for what y'all do.
Appreciate it.
We'll be happy to next round help send something out that way, and try to support the best we can, and have you on the show to promote it best we can as well. So in the comments, let me know what you think. Obviously this goes up after, I think, this week. These videos will go away from the main channel and they'll be rebroadcast on the ATN Live channel. So if you want to do a replay or listen to it as a podcast, you can do it over that way. And Justin, anything to leave us out on? Any final thoughts?
No, man, I'm good. You ever need a fill in, man, hit me up. I'm always down to chat.
All right, man. I will probably do that. So you're going to eat those words. We'll see you at Supercell, I guess, in a few months. Let's see. We have 105 days.
And counting. All right. That gives us a little time to pump out a few more SKUs.
There you go. And I got to get a lift on the vehicle. And the Bronco will be completely different. My Bronco is going to have new grill, new lift, new things under it. So it should be fun.
Right. And I expect my prize for correctly guessing your lift.
I think it was a T-shirt. So I owe you a T-shirt.
I'll take it. Does they have the new logo on it? I like the new logo. I want one.
The one that Honest doesn't like?
Uh-oh. Here you go. He's about to flame you.
That's right. So if you are curious about buying a gear, go over to our allterrainnation.com. You can buy stuff that way, stickers that way. And so whether it be 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, these badass Fords that we've been talking about that we drive, this has been your All Terrain Nation. I'm your host, Dave Boyd, and we're out. Peace, everybody. See y'all next Monday.